Hi there. This lecture is going to cover the different types of sentences we encounter in the English language. There are four major types of sentences: simple, complex, compound, and compound complex. Let's look at the differences of each one and figure out why they're so important. To begin with, the simple sentence is simply a subject and a verb, or what we call an independent clause. An independent clause can stand alone as a sentence. It is independent from anything else. So for example, Ava ran. It's only two words, but we have a subject, Ava, and the verb, ran. That's all it's needed in a sentence, okay? A subject doing something. A complex sentence, on the other hand, has one independent clause, a sentence, a subject and a verb, and one dependent clause. Typically, a dependent clause is an incomplete sentence. It depends upon an independent clause to make sense. Okay? So again, independent clause can stand alone as a sentence, as a subject and a verb. A dependent clause needs an independent clause to make sense. A dependent clause typically doesn't make sense standing alone as a sentence. So let's look at an example. We walked along the river is an independent clause. We walked could actually stand alone as a sentence, but this is what we call the predicate. Walked along the river completes the verb phrase. Okay? That is the independent clause of the sentence. We could put a period right here after river and it would make sense. However, we want to continue the sentence with a dependent clause. Until we came to the bridge is dependent. It does not make sense as a sentence. Until we came to the bridge cannot stand alone as a sentence, okay? So it requires we walked along the river in order for it to make sense. The next type of sentence is the compound sentence. This is two independent clauses, two sentences that can stand alone, joined together, okay, with a comma and a coordinating conjunction or with a semicolon, okay? So you want to think of it like this. You want to combine two sentences that can stand alone. You need to have a comma and you need to have a coordinating conjunction. A coordinating conjunction can be and, but, or, yet, however, okay? Those are just a few of them. So whenever you want to combine two sentences, you need to have the comma and a coordinating conjunction. If you just have a coordinating conjunction but no comma, that's a run-on sentence. If you just have a comma but no coordinating conjunction, we call that a comma splice. So the car broke down. That can stand alone as a sentence. A rescue van arrived within minutes. That too can stand alone as a sentence. However, we want to combine these two sentences together. So we need a comma and the coordinating conjunction, but, and, yet. Here, but makes sense, okay? Now I could also remove the coordinating conjunction and simply add a semicolon. The car broke down, a rescue van arrived within minutes, okay? So I hope that makes sense. You need to have either a comma and a coordinating conjunction or a semicolon when you want to combine two independent clauses, two sentences. The last type of sentence is the compound complex sentence. This is when we have two independent clauses joined together by a coordinating conjunction and a comma or with a semicolon and at least one dependent clause. So let's look at this example. Jan dictated a story. This can stand alone as a sentence, okay? The children wrote. That too can stand alone as a sentence, okay? But I want to combine the two, so I need to have this comma and a coordinating conjunction. The dependent clause is whatever she said. Whatever she said cannot stand alone as a sentence. So Jan dictated a story, independent clause. The children wrote, independent clause. Whatever she said, dependent clause. Okay? The comma and coordinating conjunction allows me to combine the two independent clauses, and this simply stands as a dependent clause that relies upon the children wrote in order for it to make sense. If you have any questions about sentence types, please shoot me a message. Thanks.